Hello and welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. First, let's watch a clip.
You'll be learning new vocabulary, you'll be also practicing your accent and pronunciation, and you'll be following me around in my daily life. There will also be native English conversations between my brother, right there, and me.
All right, we're going to learn some English from native speakers. Let's watch another clip.
Are you excited, Mom?
Oh, I know how this is going to go.
I know how this going to go? Did she say, I know how this going to go? Let's listen again. Let's watch that clip again.
Are you excited, Mom?
Oh, I know how this is going to go.
She did. She said, I know how this going to go. But that's not correct. We need the verb is. I know how this is going to go. We need is in this sentence. So example, she knows how this is going to go. This is going to go. Make sure you use is. Let's practice. Does she know how this is going to go? That's right. She knows how this is going to go. She knows what's going to happen. Let's watch another clip.
But last time I was here, it was so overcast and foggy. You couldn't even see anything. You wouldn't be able to see those mountains in the distance.
Okay, it was foggy. I couldn't see anything. This establishes the past. So it happened in the past. It was foggy and I couldn't see anything. Let's hear that last part again.
But last time I was here, it was so overcast and foggy. You couldn't even see anything. You wouldn't be able to see those mountains in the distance.
You wouldn't be able to see those mountains in the distance? You wouldn't be? That's imaginary right now. Right now you wouldn't be able to see the mountains if you were here. Example. But he's not talking about an imaginary situation in the present. He's talking about something in the past. We cannot use wouldn't be able to talk about the past. So the idea, it was foggy, he couldn't see anything, and he couldn't see the mountains in the distance. Not wouldn't be able to. So it was foggy. Could he see anything? That's right, he couldn't see anything. Could he see those mountains in the distance? That's right, he couldn't see those mountains in the distance. Wouldn't be able to is different. It's something imaginary right now. Example, if you were here with me right now, it's not real. If you were here with me right now, we would be able to walk down to the ocean. But we're not because you're not here. That's imaginary right now. Wouldn't be able to or would be able to. Let's watch another clip.
We'll finish up kayaking here and head back to the cruise ship. See you guys in the cruise ship.
See you guys in the boat. In the boat? We don't say that. We say on the boat. Just like on the train and on the bus and on the plane. On the boat. Especially if it's a large passenger carrying boat, which it is. Not in the boat, but on the boat. So he's on a small cruise ship. That's a boat. And we say on. On the cruise ship, on the boat. Let's practice. Is he on a cruise ship? That's right, he's on a cruise ship. Not in a cruise ship, but on a cruise ship. Let's watch another clip.
Sorry, this is option 1. 5-spice grilled beef with tamarind juice, emerald rice, and...
With tamarind juice? Let's look at that word. Juice? That's not juice. This is juice. This is orange juice. So what is that word he's looking at? That is jus. It's French. And we pronounce it in English, jus. We don't say juice, we say jus. And what is it? It's a beef-flavored dipping sauce. It's very popular with sandwiches. This is called a French dip with au jus. It's a beef-flavored dip that you dip the sandwich in. That is jus. Not juice, but jus. So this sandwich is called a French dip with au jus. Let's practice. What is this sandwich called? That's right, it's called a French dip with au jus. They call it a French dip because you dip the sandwich in the au jus or in the jus. Let's watch another clip.
And we'll hear almost no engine noise, and it's also very good for you for filming.
What is that word? Filming? It's also very good for you for filming? Let's watch that again.
And we'll hear almost no engine noise, and it's also very good for you for filming.
Yeah, she said filming. What is she talking about? I think she's talking about filming because they make videos. But I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. What do you think she's trying to say? It's very good for you for filming or filming. Use the I sound like this is. Fi, fi. Plus the dark L, fill, filming. Not filming, not filming, filming. So this is a great place for filming, for making videos, for making movies. It's a great place for filming. Let's practice. Is this a great place for filming? That's right, this is a great place for filming. Thank you for watching and keep watching for more. First, this is not correct.
And they usually fix roads when there are potholes and other things like that. And this is tar. These vehicles are carrying tar in the back of their tanks.
I cannot say these vehicles are carrying tar in the back of their tanks. They're not carrying tar in the back of their tanks. They're carrying tar in the back in their tanks, not in the back of their tanks. If I say in the back of their tanks, that means not in the front of their tanks, only in the back of their tanks. That doesn't work. So you can say these vehicles are carrying tar in the back in their tanks, not in the back of their tanks. That's different. Let's practice. Are these vehicles carrying tar in the back in their tanks? That's right. These vehicles are carrying tar in the back in their tanks. So let's talk about in the back of. Example, this is baking soda, and I put baking soda in the back of my refrigerator. It's in the back part of the refrigerator. It's not in the front of the refrigerator where I can see it easily. It's in the back of the refrigerator. That's when we say in the back of. I keep the baking soda in the back of the refrigerator. Let's practice. Do you keep baking soda in the back of the refrigerator? Very good. And don't say this either.
This is a self-service pump, which means you need to fuel the car yourself.
You need to fuel the car yourself? Don't say that. Say you need to fill up the car yourself. So if it's a self-service pump, that means you need to fill up the car yourself. Let's practice. If it's a self-service pump, do you need to fill up the car yourself? That's right. If it's a self-service pump, you need to fill up the car yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. This is also not correct.
You can see there are different fuel grades such as diesel, regular, mid-grade, and premium.
There are different fuel grades such as diesel, regular, mid-grade, and premium. Wait a second. Fuel grades? Diesel is not a fuel grade. It's a different kind of fuel. The three fuel grades are regular, mid-grade, and premium. These are grades of fuel. But diesel is not a grade of fuel, it's a different kind of fuel. Do not put diesel in a regular car. Only use diesel if you have a diesel engine. So you have three grades of gasoline, and then you have a different kind of fuel, which is diesel fuel. So let's practice. We have regular gasoline, we have mid-grade gasoline, and we have premium gasoline. Are these three different grades of fuel? That's right, these are three different grades of fuel. There are three different grades of gasoline. They're all gasoline. But this is different. This is not a grade of fuel. What is this? Is this diesel fuel? That's right, this is diesel fuel. It's only for a diesel engine. Let's watch another one.
Let's try some of these cherries. So, got the cherries from the house.
I got the cherries from the house. What is he talking about? We just saw him pick the cherries from the tree. He didn't get the cherries from the house. He got the cherries from the tree. We saw him do it. Let's practice. Did he get the cherries from the house or from the tree? That's right, he got the cherries from the tree. This is also not correct.
So yeah, you guys can see this is the bubble wrap And I know it's a lot of fun for kids to like pop this.
It's a lot of fun for kids like pop this. We need to say to. It's a lot of fun for kids to pop this. It's bubble wrap, and it's a lot of fun for kids to pop it, to pop this. We need to. Let's practice. This is bubble wrap. Is it a lot of fun for kids to pop it? That's right. It's a lot of fun for kids to pop it. This is also not correct.
I'm washing a cup. Washed. I've just washed the cup. After you wash a cup, you could put it here for it to dry.
I have just washed the cup. He did not wash a cup. He washed a glass. We have to call it a glass because it's made of glass. That's the material. If it's made of glass, you have to call it a glass. You cannot call it a cup. A cup can be made of plastic, metal, even wood, but not glass. He washed a glass, not a cup. What did he wash? Did he wash a cup or a glass? That's right, he washed a glass. This is also not correct.
And what is one of your favorite hobbies to do? What do you like doing on your free time?
I literally can only sleep.
You hear that?
What do you like doing on your free time? We cannot say on your free time. We have to say in your free time. So the question should be, what do you like doing in your free time? I like watching movies in my free time. What about you? What do you like doing in your free time? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Tell me what you like doing in your free time. And remember, say in your free time, not on your free time. This is also not correct.
If you guys want to see mini vlogs of comprehensible input, make sure to follow my English Instagram.
The word is not pronounced comprehensible input. It's not pronounced comprehensible input. Comprehensible? It should be comprehensible. Comprehensible. People like learning English through comprehensible input. What about you? Do you like learning English through comprehensible input? Very good. Thank you for watching and keep watching for more. This is also not correct.
All of these are cupboards where you put stuff. Plates.
These are cupboards? These are not cupboards. These are drawers. Cupboards are different. Let's talk about the word cupboard. Pronunciation, it looks like cupboard, but it's not pronounced that way. It's pronounced cupboard. So the P is silent. Cub-erd. Use the sound like burger. Cupboard. Cupboard. It's countable. You can have one cupboard and two cupboards. Cupboards are cabinets. They have doors that you open and there are shelves inside. Cabinets are also called cupboards. But these are different. These are drawers. These are not cupboards. These are not cabinets. They're drawers. They slide open. You put things in them and they slide closed. These are drawers. Pronunciation. The DR makes a J sound like in juice and jump. Plus the R, J. Then we have the OR sound like more and door. Drawer. Drawer. These are drawers, not cupboards. Example. The top drawer is open. The one on top is called the top drawer. So the top drawer is open. Let's practice. Is the top drawer open or closed? That's right, the top drawer is open. Are these cupboards or drawers? That's right, these are drawers. This is also not correct.
In here, it's utensils, spoons, knives.
I cannot say in here, it's utensils. Utensils is plural, so I cannot say it's. We use there are to express existence. There are utensils. So example, in here, there are utensils. Not its utensils, but there are. In here, there are utensils. Or there are utensils in here. Either way. Let's practice. Are there utensils in here? That's right, there are utensils in here. Forks, spoons, knives, or you can say silverware. Now silverware is singular. I can say there is, or it's silverware. This is silverware. No S, so I can say it's. What is this? Is it silverware? That's right, it's silverware. This is also not correct.
These ones you could call cups. These ones you could call teacups.
These ones you can call cups. These are not cups, these are glasses. Because they're made of glass, we do not call them cups, we call them glasses. These are called glasses. Let's practice. What are these? Are these cups or glasses? That's right, these are glasses. Because they're made of glass. We don't call them cups. This is also not correct.
There's also cutlery to eat from, and there's a cup on the table.
There's also cutlery to eat from. When you talk about cutlery or utensils or silverware, we do not say you eat from silverware. You do not eat from cutlery. You do not eat from utensils. You eat with. You eat with cutlery. You eat with cutlery, not from. You can say from a plate. You can eat from a plate with silverware. This is correct. So we see these three words, cutlery, silverware, utensils. They're all referring to pretty much the same thing. So example, he's eating from a plate, and he's eating with silverware. Let's practice. Is he eating from a plate or a bowl? That's right, he's eating from a plate. And is he eating with silverware or his fingers? That's right, he's eating with silverware. Not from silverware, but with. This is also not correct.
Behind me is a window, and there on the window is curtains. That's what's on the window.
These on the window is curtains. I cannot say is curtains because curtains is plural. I have to say are. These on the window are curtains. Or in the window. You can say in the window or on the window. Both are used. So these are curtains in the window. Let's practice. Are these curtains in the window? That's right, these are curtains in the window. Pronunciation, curtains. This word has two pronunciations. I can say curtains or curtains, but don't say curtains. It's curtains with a real T, curtains. Or I can use a stop T and say stop the air, put the tongue up, curtains, and go directly to the N, curtains. So curtains or curtains. Both pronunciations are correct. First, this is not correct.
And these are the places you guys were most from last video. So comment again this video where you're from.
I cannot say comment again this video where you're from. And this is also not correct.
This is where you guys were from last video. Make sure to comment this video so I can see where you guys are from this time.
I cannot say make sure to comment this video. I need a preposition. So it's correct to say make sure to comment on this video or under this video or maybe below this video. But I need a preposition. I cannot say make sure to comment this video. So please, make sure to comment under this video. Tell me what you think. This is also not correct.
Look at this, it's very beautiful rocks.
I cannot say it's very beautiful rocks. If I say rocks, that's a plural noun. I cannot say it's. I have to say they are, these are, or those are. I cannot say it's very beautiful rocks. They are, contraction, they're. They're very beautiful rocks. Or these are. These are very beautiful rocks. But I cannot say it's. I cannot say it's very beautiful rocks. What do you think about these rocks? Are they very beautiful rocks? Very good. This is also not correct.
You see this? This is rain clouds. So it's gonna rain soon.
I cannot say this is rain clouds. Again, we have a plural noun, clouds. So I cannot say this is. I have to say these are. These are rain clouds. Let's practice. What are these? Are these rain clouds? That's right, these are rain clouds. Not this is rain clouds. These are rain clouds. This is also not correct.
And on the side, it's called river bank.
I cannot say on the side, it's called riverbank. Bank is a countable noun, so I need an article. I can say on the side, it's called a riverbank. Or I can use the. On the side, it's called the riverbank. I think sounds better. It's called a riverbank, speaking about one in general. What is it called? It's called a riverbank. The side of a river is called a riverbank. I cannot say it's called riverbank. I need an article. Let's use a. It's called a riverbank. Let's practice. What is it called? Is it called a riverbank? That's right, it's called a riverbank. The side of a river is called a riverbank. This is also not correct.
And this is not the river to swim. It's another one that's way, way bigger, way bigger.
I cannot say this is not the river to swim. I need a preposition. It's correct to say this is not the river to swim in. I put in at the end of the sentence. I have to put in at the end of the sentence. This is not the river to swim in. Example, this is not a good river to swim in. I need to say in. I cannot say this is not a good river to swim. No, I need in at the end. This is not a good river to swim in. It's too dirty. Let's practice. Is this a good river to swim in? That's right, this is not a good river to swim in. Thank you for watching and keep watching for more. First, this is not correct.
Today, we are going to learn 15 English idioms naturally. The first idiom we are going to learn is hit the road straight. Okay, so to take a rain check, that's an idiom. Another idiom is to have a sweet tooth. And with that, you'll be able to hear phrases, idioms, native conversations.
Idiom? Another idiom? We cannot pronounce a word like this. We do not pronounce it idiom. It's pronounced differently. Let's listen to some real teachers pronouncing this word correctly.
So I just popped out of work for a minute to make this English lesson for you about idioms you can use to talk about work. The first idiom I want to teach you is to roll up your sleeves.
And today I'm going to teach you 10 English idioms for talking about problems and difficulties. Speaking of problems, idioms like these can be a problem when you're learning English.
Fear no more, because in this video we'll go over 10 idioms with the verb to come. Our first idiom is to come apart at the seams.
I'm Arnell from Arnell's Everyday English, and today we're going to look at the top 10 color idioms you can use to speak about an office environment. First, what is an idiom? Piece of cake.
This is also not correct.
We just got back home, so we got all the shopping. You see, we got all the shopping in the back here, so got all the shopping out of the car now. So let's head in. Okay, let's unpack all of this shopping here.
All of this shopping here? Shopping is not groceries. Groceries are groceries. So you can say all of these groceries here, but not all of this shopping here. All of these groceries. Example, look at all these groceries. There are a lot of groceries here. Let's practice. Are there a lot of groceries here? That's right, there are a lot of groceries here. Not shopping, but groceries. This is also not correct.
You have your laundry in there right now?
Washing, yeah.
Okay. How long is left, do you know?
I cannot say how long is left. If you're waiting for the laundry to finish, I cannot say how long is left. We say how much time is left, or how much longer. So if you're waiting for something, you can ask the question, how much time is left, or how much longer? Let's practice. You're waiting for the laundry. What's the question? That's right. How much time is left, or how much longer? But not how long is left. We cannot say this. This is also not correct.
What are you doing right now?
Just tightening the hose onto the faucet.
Okay, turn the water on now.
I cannot say tightening the hose onto the faucet. The verb is pronounced tighten, not tightening. We cannot pronounce the T as a fast D. The word is pronounced two different ways. You can say tighten and make a real T, tighten, or you can make a stop T, tight, and then go to the N, tighten, tightening. Remember the verb tighten. It means to make something tight. You can tighten a hose onto the faucet. Example, he's tightening the hose. Or he's tightening the hose. But I cannot say he's tightening the hose. Don't use a fast D. Example, he's tightening the hose onto the faucet. Let's practice. Is he tightening the hose onto the faucet? That's right, he's tightening the hose onto the faucet. This is also not correct.
Do you have the ketchup over there?
You mean the tomato sauce? Yeah, I got it here.
Pass. Thanks.
I cannot just say pass. Pass? We cannot say this. You have to say the name of the object you want the other person to pass. Example, pass the ketchup, pass the salt. This is correct, but you cannot just say pass. Example, he's passing the ketchup. Let's practice. Is he passing the ketchup? That's right, he's passing the ketchup. Thank you for watching and keep watching for more. First, this is not correct.
Yeah, so this is the last tower room. The roof on this one is very low, like.
Yeah.
I'm almost touching the roof on this place. But yeah, this is the last tower room.
Wow.
The roof is very low? I'm almost touching the roof? He's not talking about the roof, he's talking about the ceiling. So what is the difference? What's the difference between the ceiling and the roof? Can they be the same thing? No, I think they're different. He was talking about the ceiling. Let's hear a real teacher explain it.
I did want to review that when you look up, when you are in a building, what you see above you is called the ceiling. I will talk about roof a little bit later. A roof is what you see on the outside of a building. But when you look up, if you look up right now, I'm assuming you are all inside. What you see above your head is called the ceiling.
Let's hear some examples.
They had you up on the roof? Joey is having a secret Days of Our Lives party up on the roof, and he sent you guys to the play to get rid of you.
Bob, I saw how hard you struggled to get on the roof earlier.
And his eyes closed, and he looked up at the ceiling.
There it is, on the ceiling. How do I stick to the ceiling?
Oh my God, look at the ceiling.
So we see, if we're talking about the part that's inside your house, that's the ceiling. And if you're talking about the part that's outside, that's the roof. So the ceiling is interior and the roof is exterior. That's the difference. Pretty clear. So, example, the ceiling is very low. He's almost touching the ceiling. Let's practice. Is the ceiling very low? That's right, the ceiling is very low. Is he almost touching the ceiling? That's right, he's almost touching the ceiling. And this is a roofer. He's working on the roof. That's why he's called a roofer. Let's practice. Is he a roofer? That's right, he's a roofer. Is he working on the ceiling or the roof? That's right, he's working on the roof. This is also not correct.
Peacock, duck wants food, so let's give it some food real quick. This is corn or the duck. The duck is eating corn.
Duck wants food? The duck is eating corn? I cannot say duck wants food. If I talk about more than one, I can say ducks. Ducks want food in general. But if it's specific, we say the duck. The duck wants food. And that's what he's talking about. He's talking about one specific duck. The duck wants food. But wait a minute. It's not a duck. It's a goose. So it should be the goose wants food. Because that's not a duck. That's a goose. This is a Toulouse goose. Let's watch a clip. So, for one, we say goose, a goose. But if you have two, you say geese. These are geese. I know they're geese because how they talk. They honk. That's how I know they're geese. Geese honk. And this is a duck. One duck, two ducks. And how do I know they're ducks? Because of how they talk. They say quack, quack. They don't honk. They quack. Ducks quack. And geese honk. Let's practice. Do geese quack or do geese honk? That's right. Geese honk like this. That's a goose. That's the sound of a goose. And what about ducks? Do ducks honk or do ducks quack? That's right. Ducks quack like this. Quack, 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 quack. Ducks quack. That's the sound they make when they try to talk. Thank you for watching and keep watching for more. First, this is not correct.
We're in the city now, and I'm gonna go to my appointment. This is cars.
I cannot say this is cars. This is for something singular. This is a car. But if I say cars, I cannot say this is. I have to say these are. These are cars. Not this is cars, but these are cars. Pronunciation. Make the long E sound like green beans. E, these, plus the Z sound like zebra. These. These are cars. Let's practice. Are these cars? That's right, these are cars. This is also not correct.
And this is like a bike park. You just park your bike here. Bike.
A bike park? This is not a bike park. This is called a bike rack. Again, not a bike park, but a bike rack. Pronunciation, rack. Use the short A sound like black cat. Not rock like rock and roll, but rack like black cat. This is a bike rack, not a bike park. Example, you can chain your bike to the bike rack. Let's practice. Can you chain your bike to the bike rack? That's right, you can chain your bike to the bike rack. This is also not correct.
This is a bike park. You park bikes here. Bikes.
This is not a bike park either. These are parking spaces for motorcycles. It's not called a bike park. They're parking spaces for motorcycles. Let's practice. Are these parking spaces for motorcycles? That's right, these are parking spaces for motorcycles, not a bike park. This is also not correct.
This is a parking space, and the parking space is empty. No one's there. This is a parking space, but it's full. A car is there.
I cannot say the parking space is full. The parking lot can be full, but the parking space is not full. The parking space is taken. So again, if you talk about a parking lot, you can say the parking lot is full. But if you talk about the space, the parking space or the parking spot, we don't say full, we say taken or occupied. Let's practice. Is the parking lot full? That's right, the parking lot is full. Let's talk about the parking space. Is the parking space taken? That's right, you cannot park there because the parking space is already taken. Not full, but taken. This is also not correct.
Yeah. This is called refrigerators or shorter fridges. This is also a fridge. This is where you keep cool things.
I cannot say this is called refrigerators or shorter fridges. I cannot say this is called because they're plural. Refrigerators, fridges. I cannot say this is called. I have to say these are. These are called refrigerators or shorter fridges. Again, these are called refrigerators. Let's practice. What are these called? Are these called refrigerators? That's right, these are called refrigerators. But what if there's one? Then I can say this is called, but I have to say This is called a refrigerator. Let's practice. Is this called a refrigerator? That's right, this is called a refrigerator. This is also not correct.
Okay, so I got all the shopping. I just went to the store, I got the shopping. Here it is. To get your shopping, you put it in your shopping cart.
I cannot say get your shopping or I got all my shopping. I got all the shopping. We don't use get when you talk about shopping. You can say do, you can do the shopping, or you can do your shopping. You can do all the shopping, but not get. So example, she's doing the shopping. She's not getting the shopping, she's doing the shopping. Let's practice. Is she doing the shopping? That's right, she's doing the shopping. Now let's practice in the past. Do in the past did. She did all the shopping. She did all the shopping for the whole week. Not get. I cannot say she got all the shopping. I use do in the past did. She did all the shopping for the whole week. Let's practice. Did she do all the shopping for the whole week? That's right, she did all the shopping for the whole week. So when can I use get or got? If I talk about the things, the groceries, you can use get. I got the groceries. I got all the groceries, but not I got the shopping. She got all the groceries. She got her groceries. You can say that. This is also not correct.
In front of me here, this is called a motorbike. You could call it a motorbike or a bike, and he's riding in front of me. Not behind, in front. He's in front, and I am behind him.
In front, behind, okay, but in front is not one word. It's two words. In front. And we also use of, in front of, three separate words. And behind, with behind, there's no of, just behind. Example, he's standing in front of his car. In front of. He's standing in front of his car. Three separate words, in front of. And his car is behind him. Not behind of him, just behind him. Let's practice. Is he standing in front of his car? That's right, he's standing in front of his car. So when you hear it, it sounds like one word, in front of, but it's three words, in front of. And where's his car? Is his car behind him? That's right, his car is behind him. This is also not correct.
I got the yogurt glass cup.
A glass cup? If it's made of glass, it's a glass. It's not a cup. It could be a glass mug, we can say that, but not a glass cup. Cups are not made of glass. So we can call this a glass or a glass mug, but not a glass cup. Let's practice. Is this called a glass? That's right, this is called a glass. Can you call it a glass mug? That's right, you can call it a glass mug too, because it has that handle. That's why we call it a mug. This is also not correct.
These are sandals, or you could call them slides, because they just slide in.
You can call them slides because they just slide in? They don't slide in, they slide on. Slides slide on. They slide on your feet. And you slide your feet in the slides. You slide your feet in the slides, and the slides slide on your foot. So I can say, you call them slides because they just slide on, not they just slide in. So these are called slides. Do they slide on? Do they slide on your feet? That's right, they slide on. Or I can say they slide on your feet. So these are slides. You can slide your feet in the slides. Your feet slide in. They slide in the slides. Let's practice. Can you slide your feet in the slides? That's right, you can slide your feet in the slides. They're easy to put on. No laces. This is also not correct.
You could see this, all this is dark clouds.
I cannot say all this is dark clouds. Again, clouds is plural, so I cannot say all this is. I have to say all these are. All these are dark clouds. Let's practice. What are all these? Are all these dark clouds? That's right, all these are dark clouds. No white clouds, they're all dark clouds. This is also not correct.
Yeah, I remember I was walking with my flip-flops going up towards the main road and my slide fell off. The first step I took, I stepped into one of those thorns.
I cannot say I stepped into one of those thorns. I cannot use into. I have to say on. I stepped on one of those thorns. This is a thorn. And you don't step into the thorn, you step on the thorn. And it hurts. It hurts when you step on a thorn. Let's practice. Does it hurt when you step on a thorn? That's right, it hurts when you step on a thorn. Not step into a thorn, but step on a thorn. We have to use on. This is also not correct.
I really want to make tres leches or 3 milks,
It's a really popular dessert that's delicious. I made it one time. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT for a recipe on how I can make tres leches or 3 milks.
Make tres leches or 3 milks? We cannot say 3 milks. Milk is not countable. It would be 3 kinds of milk, but not 3 milks. So let's talk about this. What is tres leches? It's a cake. And we don't call it tres leches, we call it tres leches cake. Can you call it 3 milk cake? Well, according to the grammar rules, you can, but we don't. We don't call it 3 milk cake. We use the Spanish name and we call it tres leches cake or tres leches cake, depending on your pronunciation. So this is the cake. This is a tres leches cake. Not a 3 milks, not a 3 milks cake, and not a 3 milk cake. It's a tres leches cake. If you want to explain what it is, you can say, oh, it's made up of 3 different kinds of milk. But it's called a tres leches cake. Let's practice. Have you ever tried tres leches cake? It's really good. You should try it. It's made up of 3 different kinds of milk. And it has fruit on top, usually. This is also not correct.
This tree is dead. You can see there's no leaves and no life on it, but it's really nice to get back to nature sometimes because this cow is laying on the road. And same with these calves. And these calves are standing. How you doing, boys?
I cannot say leaves, and I cannot say calves. There's no word leaves, and there's no word calves. It's 1 leaf and 2 leaves, or 1 calf and 2 calves. Let's talk about calf. This is 1 calf. It's the back part of your lower leg. This is your calf, or you have 2 calves. Not calves, but calves. The L is silent, and we pronounce the V sound with vibration, plus the Z sound like zebra. Together, calves. You have 2 calves. And these are calves too. You have 1 calf and 2 calves. They're baby cows. Same word, 2 different meanings. So we have these words where we change the F to a V and add ES. Keep watching to practice more. First, this is not correct.
Unfortunately, I don't have any ice or anything, but if I put it in the fridge, it'll cool down. And now we'll let that cool down.
It'll cool down? Let that cool down? He's talking about lemonade. It's not hot, so we cannot use the phrasal verb cool down. Cool down is a phrasal verb to talk about something that is hot or warm changing to a cooler temperature. Example, a hot pan. It's hot, don't touch it. Let it cool down. Or I can use the phrasal verb cool off. It's hot, don't touch it. Let it cool off. If you take something hot out of the oven, you let it cool off, or you let it cool down. That's what the phrasal verb is used for. He's talking about putting lemonade in a refrigerator. We do not use the phrasal verb cool off or cool down here. We say chill. You chill the lemonade in the refrigerator. You change it from room temperature to a colder temperature. That's to chill. Example, the pan is hot. Before you touch it, do you need to let it cool down? That's right. Before you touch it, you need to let it cool down. Or I can use the phrasal verb cool off. Does it need to cool off? That's right. It needs to cool off before you touch it. It's hot right now. Now let's talk about lemonade. First, you make the lemonade, then you put it in the refrigerator so it'll be cold later when you drink it. That is to chill. You need to chill the lemonade before you drink it. Let's practice. Do you need to chill the lemonade before you drink it? That's right, you need to chill the lemonade before you drink it. Everybody likes cold lemonade. This is also not correct.
Yo, when something tastes good, what do you say after? What's an expression, a very popular English expression that you say?
You could say, that hit the spot.
Exactly. So if something tastes very good, very delicious, if you enjoyed eating it.
The expression that hit the spot does not mean something tasted delicious. It means you ate the right amount of food. You're not full anymore, and you're not too full. You're not stuffed. You ate the right amount of food. The perfect portion. That's when we use the expression, that hit the spot. It does not mean the food was delicious. They're 2 different ideas. Imagine you had a small snack, and it was the perfect amount of food that you needed. Now you feel better. So you say, that hit the spot. Let's practice. Did that hit the spot? That's right, that hit the spot. I'm not talking about the taste of the food. I'm not saying it was delicious. I'm just saying it was the right amount. This is also not correct.
This is my favorite comment from last video.
This is my favorite comment from last video. I cannot say from last video. Because the word video is countable, I have to use an article. I can say the. This is my favorite comment from the last video. Or I can use possessive and say my. This is my favorite comment from my last video. But I cannot say this is my favorite comment from last video. We need a modifier. We need to use the or my. Example, this is his favorite comment from the last video. Let's practice. Is this his favorite comment from the last video? That's right, this is his favorite comment from the last video. This is also not correct.
This is banana muffin shape. It's the shape of a muffin.
This is banana muffin shape. First, shape is countable. I have to say This is a banana muffin shape. Or better, this is a muffin shape. But this is not a muffin shape. This is called a muffin tin. A muffin shape would be the shape of a muffin. But this is just a muffin tin. It's the thing you cook muffins in. And not just banana muffins, all muffins. This is a muffin tin. And this is a muffin shape. The shape of a muffin, I guess. But this is a muffin tin. You make muffins in a muffin tin. Let's practice. Do you make muffins in a muffin tin? That's right, you make muffins in a muffin tin. So remember, if you say shape, you have to say a muffin shape. But if I say something is in good shape, there is no article. We do not say it is in a good shape. But if you're talking about an actual form, then it is countable. We say a shape. Example, this is an hourglass shape. It's in the shape of an hourglass. This is an hourglass shape. This is also not correct.
So this is the bread he made, and you can see it's rising nicely. Rising is when it comes up.
This is the bread he made? This is not bread. This is called dough. Dough and bread are not the same thing. Before you cook it, it's dough. And after you cook it, it's called bread. You cannot refer to dough as bread because it's not bread yet. It's still dough. It hasn't been cooked yet. So this is the dough he made, not the bread he made. Let's practice. Is this the dough he made? That's right, this is the dough he made. Pronunciation, dough. Make the long O like no and go, and the GH is silent. Dough. Let's watch another clip.
So now I'm gonna go get lemons to make a lemonade. And we have a lemon tree that has the best lemons to make lemonade with. So now I'm just gonna go over there, get those lemons, we'll make the lemonade.
Okay, I heard make a lemonade, I heard make lemonade, and I heard make the lemonade. What's the difference? Well, the first one is not correct. I cannot say make a lemonade. You can say a lemonade if you order it in a restaurant because it's one glass, it's one unit. Can I have a lemonade and a Coke? In this case, these words are countable. We say a. But if you're making a pitcher of lemonade at home, it's not a lemonade, it's just lemonade. You make lemonade, just like you make tea. You don't make a tea. If you order it in a restaurant, you can say, can I have a tea? If you're making it at home, these words are not countable. You make lemonade, you make tea, you make coffee. No articles. Okay, what about make the lemonade? This is correct when you're referring to something that you already mentioned. So if I say, I'm going to make lemonade, the first time I mention it, there's no article. Then I say, would you like some of the lemonade I made? In that case, we use the. Let's practice. Is he going to make lemonade? That's right, he's going to make lemonade. Would you like some of the lemonade that he's going to make? Very good. And is he going to make the lemonade now or later? That's right, he's going to make the lemonade now. This is also not correct.
Difference between a lemon and a lime. Lime is small and green. Lemon is like this. It's bigger and yellow.
I cannot say lime is small and green. Lemon is like this, it's bigger and yellow. Lime and lemon are countable words. I have to use articles. So I have to say a lime. A lime is small and green. And a lemon is like this. It's bigger and yellow. Remember, a lime and a lemon. I cannot just say lime and lemon. I cannot say lime is green, lemon is yellow. I have to say a lime. A lime is green and a lemon is yellow. Or I can make these words plural and say limes are green and lemons are yellow. Let's practice. What color are limes? That's right, limes are green. And what color are lemons? That's right, lemons are yellow. This is also not correct.
And when the fries are done, you want to put them in a plate with paper towel. I don't have paper towel, I just have these napkins, so.
When the fries are done, you want to put them in a plate? Put them in a plate with paper towel? Put them in a plate with paper towel? We don't say in a plate, we say on. A plate is flat. You put them on a plate. With paper towel? Towel is countable. I have to use an article. With a paper towel, or maybe more than one. With paper towels. But I cannot say with paper towel. You put them on a plate with paper towels. Let's talk about put 'em. Put 'em. What is put 'em? It's put them. We make a reduction. We say put 'em. The T changes to a fast D. Put 'em, put 'em. And you hear instead of them. Put 'em. Put 'em on a plate. Not put 'em in a plate. You can put 'em in a bowl, but you cannot put 'em in a plate. It's on. Put 'em on a plate with paper towels. Not with paper towel, but with paper towels. So after you fry potatoes, should you put them on a plate with paper towels? That's right, you should put them on a plate with paper towels. This is also not correct.
I don't have paper towel, I just have these napkins, so.
I don't have paper towel, I just have napkins? Okay, napkins, you put the S. I just have napkins. What about paper towel? It's countable too. I have to say I don't have paper towels or I don't have a paper towel. Remember, the word towel is countable. We need to use an article or make it plural. Example, he doesn't have a paper towel. He only has napkins. Let's practice. Does he have a paper towel? That's right, he doesn't have a paper towel. He only has napkins. And don't say this either.
Okay, now let's have a mini quiz, just 5 questions of what we learned today. Okay, what is this called?
5 questions of what we learned today? We don't use of here. We use from or about. 5 questions from what we learned today, or 5 questions about what we learned today. We don't use of. Can you say questions of? Sure. You can say it was a question of faith. If I say it's a question of faith, I'm talking about whether the person had faith or not. That's a question of. But this is different. This is information, so we use from or about. So he's going to ask 5 questions about what they learned today. Or I can use from. He's going to ask 5 questions from what they learned today. I think about is the best one, but don't say of. I cannot say he's going to ask 5 questions of what they learned today. Use from or about. Let's practice. Is he going to ask 5 questions about what they learned today? That's right. He's going to ask 5 questions about what they learned today. Thank you for watching and keep watching for more. First, this is not correct.
Up here is the roof. This is called the roof.
This is called the roof? He's not looking at a roof. He's not pointing to the roof. He's pointing to the ceiling. It's not the roof, it's the ceiling. They're 2 different things. First, let's talk about the ceiling. The ceiling is what you see in the room. You see 4 walls, and if you look up, you see the ceiling. That's what he's looking at, that's what he's indicating. It's the ceiling. Example, this is a vaulted ceiling. That's what it's called. It's called a vaulted ceiling. Let's practice. Is this a vaulted ceiling? That's right, this is a vaulted ceiling. What about the roof? This is the roof. The roof is on top. It's outside. It's on top of your house outside. That is the roof. Example, the roof has shingles. The things that you put on the roof, those are called shingles. So the roof has shingles. Let's practice. Does this roof have shingles? That's right, the roof has shingles. So again, this is a ceiling and this is a roof. They're different. This is also not correct.
This is carpets. Carpet.
This is carpets. First, it's singular, carpet. But it's different. A carpet is when it's installed into the floor and it goes from wall to wall. That's carpet. But he's talking about a rug. He's pointing to a rug. That's not a carpet. It's called a rug. Example, they're installing carpet. This is carpet. It's installed and it goes from wall to wall. They're installing carpet. Let's practice. What are they doing? Are they installing carpet? That's right, they're installing carpet. And this is a rug. Not a carpet, not carpets, but a rug. It's countable. There's a rug in the kitchen. Let's practice. Is there a rug in the kitchen? That's right, there's a rug in the kitchen. Remember pronunciation, use a short sound like cup and up. Rug. Not rag, but rug. This is a rag. We see the letter A makes the sound like black cat. This is a dish rag. I use it to wash dishes. This is a dish rag and this is a rug. There's a rug in the kitchen. Let's practice. Is this a rag or a rug? That's right, this is a rag. It's a dish rag. And what is this? Is this a rag or a rug? That's right, this is a rug, not a carpet. First, this is not correct.
My shoes that you wear on your feet is outside, so let's go get them.
My shoes that you wear on your feet is outside? We cannot say this. The most important thing is the verb. I cannot say is. I'm talking about shoes. There are more than one. Shoes are, not shoes is. So my shoes that you wear on your feet, let's change that. My shoes that I wear on my feet are outside. Remember, you cannot use is, you have to say are. So it's correct to say my shoes that I wear on my feet are outside. Or I can say the shoes. The shoes that you wear on your feet are outside. This is also correct. So let's talk about his shoes. His shoes that he wears on his feet are outside. Let's practice. Where are his shoes? That's right, his shoes are outside. Let's talk about his shoes. Are these his shoes that he wears on his feet? That's right, we're talking about the shoes that he wears on his feet. They're outside. This is also not correct.
But look at this. This is lemons. This is called weeds, but all this is weeds. Weeds and grass together. This is red flowers.
I cannot say this is lemons. And I cannot say this is called weeds. All this is weeds. This is red flowers. I cannot say this is when I have plural nouns. I have to say these are. I can say these are lemons. These are called weeds. All these are weeds. And these are red flowers. I cannot say this is because I'm using plural nouns in the plural form. Let's practice. What are these? Are these lemons? That's right, these are lemons. Pronunciation. Make sure you make the long E sound like green beans. These. Plus the Z sound like in zebra and zipper. Z with a voice. These are. These are lemons. And what are these? Are these called weeds? That's right, these are called weeds. And I can say, all these are weeds. Let's practice. Are all these weeds? That's right, all these are weeds. And what are these? Are these red flowers? That's right, these are red flowers. This is also not correct.
This is called a leaf. A leaf. Trees have leaves.
trees have leaves? Leaves? We cannot say leaves. The singular form is leaf, but the plural form is not leaves, it's leaves. We use the letter V and pronounce it v, v, plus the S making a Z sound like in zebra. Leaves. One leaf with the F sound with no voice. One leaf and two leaves. I cannot say leaves. The word is leaves. So example, trees have leaves. That's true. Most trees have leaves. Some have needles, but most trees have leaves. Let's practice. Do most trees have leaves? That's right. Most trees have leaves. So remember these plurals. One leaf, two leaves. One knife, two knives. Again, with the V sound plus the Z sound like in zebra. Knives. One wife, two wives. One wolf and two wolves. These are just a few examples of this pattern. This is also not correct.
We're looking for machete to cut down the forest over there because it's really thick.
I cannot say we're looking for a machete. Machete is a countable noun, so we have to use an article. We use the article a, one in general. We're looking for a machete. Or I can say the. We're looking for the machete. If I say the machete, that's a specific one that you already know about. And if I say a machete, that's one in general that you don't know about. But we need an article, either a machete or the machete. So example, he's looking for a machete. Let's practice. What is he looking for? Is he looking for a machete? That's right, he's looking for a machete. Pronunciation, machete, machete. The CH makes a soft sh sound, like in fish, mush. And then eddy. The T makes a fast D, machete. This is a machete. And that's what he's looking for, a machete. This is also not correct.
Hopefully you learned something. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe if you already haven't. And if you want to learn a word,
make sure to like, follow, and subscribe if you already haven't. We cannot say this. We cannot say if you already haven't. We can switch the position and say if you haven't already. This works. So yeah, please like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't already. But we cannot say if you already haven't. This doesn't work. We can also use yet. If you haven't yet. So I can say please like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't yet. So whether you say already or yet, you have to put it at the end of the sentence. If you haven't already, or if you haven't yet, you can say it like this, but you cannot say if you already haven't. This doesn't work. This is also not correct.
I am cutting is in the present, happening right now. I'm cutting the tree.
I'm cutting the tree. We cannot pronounce the word this way. We cannot say I'm cutting the tree. It's pronounced cutting. Move the stress to the first syllable, cut. Not cutting, but cutting. And in America, we change the T to a fast D when it's between vowels, like this. Cutting, cutting. Not cutting, but cutting. You can say, I'm cutting the tree. Example, he's cutting the tree. Let's practice. Is he cutting the tree? That's right, he's cutting the tree. Or if it's like this, we use a phrasal verb, cut down. So I can say he's cutting down the tree. Or in the past, he cut down. He cut down the tree. In the present, cut. In the past, cut. It doesn't change. So in the past, I say he cut down the tree. Let's practice. Did he cut down the tree? That's right, he cut down the tree. I cannot just say he cut the tree. No, he cut down the tree. It's different. This is also not correct.
A window with sun coming in. Sofa that you sit on.
Window with sun coming in. Sofa that you sit on. Window and sofa are both countable nouns. We need articles. I have to say a window. A window with sun coming in. And sofa, I cannot just say sofa, I say a sofa. A sofa that you sit on. Example, this is a window. This is a window with sun coming in. Let's practice. Is this a window with sun coming in? That's right, this is a window with sun coming in. And this is a sofa that you sit on. Let's practice. Is this a sofa that you sit on? That's right, this is a sofa that you sit on. This is also not correct.
And as I say these words, and as you hear the words throughout the video, try to pronounce it, say the word to practice your pronunciation, and also try to remember the word. If you already knew them, hopefully you learned new words or other words, and hopefully you also practice saying the words and pronunciation.
Pronunciation? The word is pronounced pronunciation. We see the letter U there between the N's, right? That's a short sound like cup and up. Pronun, pronun. So the two first vowels are the same sound. Pr, n. Closed and relaxed. Prn, prn. Pronunciation. Not pronunciation. The verb is pronounce. You pronounce the word this way, you pronounce the word that way. But the noun is pronunciation. With a short sound. Pronun, pronunciation. Don't say pronunciation, say pronunciation. Example, she wants to improve her pronunciation. So she's practicing. She's practicing to improve her pronunciation. Let's practice. Does she want to improve her pronunciation? That's right, she wants to improve her pronunciation. Is she practicing to improve her pronunciation? That's right, she's practicing to improve her pronunciation. Thank you for watching, and keep watching for more. First, don't say this.
This is a dog, an animal. The dog's color is beige.
The dog's color is beige? We don't say this. We say the dog is beige. We don't use the word color when we talk about colors. We use it in the question. I say, what color is the dog? And the answer, the dog is beige. The dog is light brown. But don't say the dog's color is beige. Example, the table is black. We don't say the table's color is black. We just say the table is black. And we don't say the table has a black color. Don't use the word color when giving a color. Just say the name of the color. The table is black. Let's practice. What color is the table? That's right, the table is black. What color is the dog? That's right, the dog is beige, or the dog is light brown. This is also not correct.
These are lemons, and this is a car.
These are lemons, but he's holding one lemon. You cannot say these are lemons if you're only holding one of them. You have to say this is a lemon. Lemons are countable, so we use the article a. This is a lemon. These are not lemons because there's only one. These are lemons. There are more than one, so these are lemons. And this is a lemon. Let's practice. Are these lemons? That's right, these are lemons. Is this a lemon? That's right, this is a lemon. And don't say this either.
You could also call this a pond. It's a pond of water.
It's a pond of water? We don't say this because it's a pond. It's always water. We don't say it's a pond of water. We don't say it's a river of water. We don't say it's a lake of water. And we don't say it's an ocean of water. These things are always water. So we just say it's a pond, it's a river, it's a lake, and it's an ocean. We don't use the word water. What about puddle? Okay, you can say a puddle of water because maybe it's not water. Maybe it's a puddle of blood or something else. Okay, that's possible, but not a pond. A pond is always water. So don't say it's a pond of water. That sounds crazy. It's a pond. So what is a pond? A pond is a small lake. This is a pond. There's a pond at the park. Let's practice. Is this a pond? That's right, this is a pond. Is there a pond at the park? That's right, there's a pond at the park. This is also incorrect.
He found out the best angle to film the scene. He found out the best angle.
We cannot say he found out a good angle. We cannot use the phrasal verb find out in the past found out. We have to use the verb find in the past found with no out. He found a good angle. He found it. He was looking for it and he found it. We cannot say he found out. He found a good angle. Let's practice. Did he find a good angle? That's right, he found a good angle. So how do we use find out? Find out is for information. When you discover information, you find out something. It's not about looking for something and locating it, it's information. Example, he found out about his friend. Information about his friend. He found out that his friend was sick. Again, information. He received information. That's find out in the past found out. Let's practice. Did he find out about his friend? That's right, he found out about his friend. Did he find out that his friend was sick? That's right, he found out that his friend was sick. And this is not correct either.
And the great thing about this strategy, it's very simple. It's just 3 steps to follow.
It's just 3 steps to follow? I cannot say it's just 3 steps to follow. Because I'm expressing existence of the 3 steps, I have to say there are. There are just 3 steps to follow. I cannot use it's in this case. There are just 3 steps to follow. Let's practice. How many steps are there? Are there just 3 steps to follow? That's right, there are just 3 steps to follow. Example, traffic. I cannot say it's a lot of traffic. Again, because I'm expressing the existence of traffic, I have to say there is. Contraction, there's. There's a lot of traffic. I cannot say it's a lot of traffic, I have to say there's. Let's practice. Is there a lot of traffic today? That's right, there's a lot of traffic today. Example, cookies. I cannot say it's cookies on the table or they are cookies on the table. I'm expressing the existence of cookies. I have to say there are. There are cookies on the table. Let's practice. Are there any cookies on the table? That's right, there are some cookies on the table. This is also incorrect.
You can use an SRS software like Anki. Use an SRS software for long-term memorization.
You can use an SRS software. The word software is not countable. We don't say an SRS software or a software. It's just software. No articles with software. It's not a countable word. You can say an SRS app. App is countable. The word app is countable. You can say an SRS app, but not an SRS software. We see these words that end with ware, and we know that they are not countable. Silverware, software, hardware. These words are not countable, so no and no s at the end. Example, silverware. There's silverware on the table. Not a silverware and not silverwares, just silverware. It's not a countable word. Again, the example, there is, contraction, there's. There's silverware on the table. Let's practice. Is there any silverware on the table? That's right, there's silverware on the table. Example, hardware. This is hardware. I cannot say a hardware or hardwares because the word is not countable, just hardware. I can ask a question and say, do they sell hardware? And you can say, yes, they sell hardware. No a hardware and no hardwares. Let's practice. Do they sell hardware? That's right, they sell hardware. It's a hardware store. That's what they sell. Example, he downloaded some software. Not a software and not softwares. It's not a countable word. He downloaded some software. Let's practice. Did he download some software? That's right, he downloaded some software. First, this is not correct.
What mistakes do most English learners make? I would say they waste time on things that kills motivation, like grammar drills.
I cannot say they waste time on things that kills motivation. If I say things, I cannot say kills. I cannot put an S on kill. because things is a plural. I have to say kill. I can say they waste time on things that kill motivation, but not kills. I have to use a simple verb here, kill. So he's saying if students spend a lot of time in class learning English that way, that they waste time on things that kill motivation. Maybe it's true. Let's practice. Do they waste time on things that kill motivation? Sure, maybe they waste time on things that kill motivation. Not kills, but kill. This is also not correct.
And I'm 22 years old now, so that was also a question people asking. I'm 22.
I cannot say that was a question people asking. I need a verb. I need the verb to be. I can say were. That was a question that people were asking. Or I can use have been. That was a question people have been asking. But I cannot say that was also a question that people asking. In the present, that is a question that people are asking. In the past, that was a question people were asking. So example, people were asking this question. So I can say that was a question people were asking. Let's practice. Was that a question people were asking? That's right. That was a question people were asking. This is also not correct.
I lived in Canada since I was 4, so I lived in Canada for 18 years.
I lived in Canada since I was 4. I lived is an example of simple past, and I cannot use since with simple past. If I change the verb to present perfect, well, then it works. You can say I have or I've lived in Canada since I was 4. This is correct, but not I lived in Canada since I was 4. I cannot use since with simple past. So the example is he has or he's lived in Canada since he was 4. Let's practice. Has he lived in Canada since he was 4? That's right, he's lived in Canada since he was 4. Or I can say he has been living. He has been living in Canada since he was 4. He has, contraction, he's been. He's been living in Canada since he was 4. Let's practice. Has he been living in Canada since he was 4? That's right, he's been living in Canada since he was 4.
I lived in Canada since I was 4, so I lived in Canada for 18 years.
So I lived in Canada for 18 years? Wait a minute, he lived in Canada for 18 years and then he moved somewhere else? Or does he still live in Canada? Let's watch another clip.
So I didn't leave Canada, I'm just traveling here in South America, and my family is from here in Ecuador. So I just came to travel and visit family. So I didn't leave Canada, I'm just traveling here in Ecuador.
So he still lives in Canada. So we cannot say, I lived in Canada for 18 years, because he still lives there. We have to use present perfect. We have to say he has lived, or he's lived in Canada for 18 years. Or I can say he has been living in Canada for 18 years, but not he lived, or I lived. Let's practice. Has he lived in Canada for 18 years? That's right, he's lived in Canada for 18 years. Has he been living in Canada for 18 years? That's right, he's been living in Canada for 18 years. For example, my wife, Lisa. I can say she lived in Ukraine for 23 years because she doesn't live there anymore. She moved to the US when she was 23. So I could say in the past she lived in Ukraine for 23 years because she doesn't live there anymore. Let's practice. Did she live in Ukraine for 23 years? That's right, she lived in Ukraine for 23 years. Can I say she lived in the US since she was 23? No, I cannot use since in simple past. I have to say she has. She has lived in the US since she was 23. Remember, don't use since with simple past. Let's practice. Has she lived in the US since she was 23? That's right, she's lived in the US since she was 23. This is also not correct.
For me, the hardest part for speaking a language has got to be getting the confidence to speak.
I cannot say the hardest part for speaking a language. I cannot use for. I have to use of. It's correct to say the hardest part of speaking a language. I cannot use for in this situation. So it's an interesting question. What's the hardest part of speaking a language? You tell me. Give me your opinion. Let me know in the comments. What do you think is the hardest part of speaking a language? This is also not correct.
It's still very new to me, and it does make me nervous just recording because I'm afraid what's other people going to think and all this.
I cannot say I'm worried what's other people going to think. What's other people going to think? First, I can't say what's other people. People is a plural. I have to say are. What are other people going to think? This is a direct question. This is correct. What are other people going to think? But if you say I'm worried, you have to move the verb. I'm worried. I'm worried what other people are going to think. Pronunciation, what other people are going to think. Altogether, I'm worried what other people are going to think. Other people are going to think. So we don't hear are, we hear What other people are going to think. I'm worried what other people are going to think. I cannot say I'm worried what's other people going to think. Use are and move the are. I'm worried what other people are going to think. Example, he's very self-conscious. We say he's self-conscious because he's worried what other people are going to think. He's worried what other people are going to think about him. He's self-conscious. Let's practice. Is he self-conscious? That's right, he's self-conscious. Is he worried about what other people are going to think? That's right, he's worried about what other people are going to think. That's what it means to be self-conscious. This is also not correct.
Next question is, where do you want to travel next? I really want to go back to Asia and travel the countries I haven't been.
I cannot say I really want to go back to Asia and travel the other countries I haven't been. We have to put to at the end and say the countries I haven't been to. So it's correct to say, I want to go back to Asia and travel the countries I haven't been to. I have to put to at the end. Example, he wants to go back to Asia and travel the countries he hasn't been to. Let's practice. Does he want to go back to Asia and travel the countries he hasn't been to? That's right, he wants to go back to Asia and travel the countries he hasn't been to. This is also not correct.
So I've been to Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Hong Kong.
I cannot pronounce the country Singapore. It's not Singapore, it's Singapore. The NG makes a sound in your nose. Sing, like when you sing a song. Together, Singapore. Not Singapore, but Singapore. Singapore is a country in Asia. Let's hear another one.
But I still want to go to Philippines, Indonesia.
Go to Philippines? We use the article the when we talk about the country Philippines. It's a special country because it's a series of islands. We say the Philippines. So I cannot say I want to go to Philippines. We say I want to go to the Philippines. So example, he wants to go to Asia. He wants to go to Singapore, not Singapore, and he wants to go to the Philippines. He wants to go to Singapore and the Philippines. Let's practice. Does he want to go to Singapore and the Philippines? That's right, he wants to go to Singapore and the Philippines, 2 Asian countries. This is also not correct.
This could be reading, watching comprehensible input videos like my ones, which are made to help you learn and acquire English.
I cannot say watching videos like my ones. I cannot use my ones. I cannot use possession before ones. I can say big ones and small ones, old ones and young ones, but I cannot say my ones. We cannot use possessive here. You have to say my videos or mine. So it's correct to say watching videos like mine or watching videos like my videos, but not watching videos like my ones. We cannot say this. So he says a good way to practice is by watching videos like his, not like his ones, but like his. So again, he says it's a good idea to practice your English by watching videos like his. Let's practice. Does he say it's a good idea to practice English by watching videos like his? That's right, he says it's a good idea to practice English by watching videos like his. Long sentence. This is also not correct.
You go to my website, it'll be in the description and the comments, and you can get the 3,000 list word there.
You can get the 300 list word there? List word? This is not correct. He means you can get the 300 word list there. 300 word functions as an adjective. There's no S, it goes before list. The 300 word list. Not the 300 list word, and not the 300 words list, but the 300 word list. You can get the 300 word list there. there with the link. By clicking the link, you can get the 300 word list. Let's practice. How can you get the 300 word list? Can you get the 300 word list by clicking the link? That's right, you can get the 300 word list by clicking the link. And don't say this either.
Just boring classes where they just sit in a desk, have a piece of paper, and write stuff down.
They just sit in a desk? Sit in a desk? Wait, in a desk? On a desk or at a desk? What's the difference? Keep watching to find out and to practice more. So if I talk about a desk, I can use the following prepositions. In the desk, on the desk, at the desk, and by the desk. But they're all different. So let's take a closer look. If I talk about objects that are on the top surface of the desk, I say on. Example, she has a computer on her desk. There's a computer on her desk. Let's practice. Does she have a computer on her desk? That's right, she has a computer on her desk. Is there a computer on her desk? That's right, there's a computer on her desk. If I talk about things that are inside the drawers, then I say in. She keeps her pencils in her desk. They're in the drawers. They're inside the drawers, so I say in. She keeps her pencils in her desk. Let's practice. Does she keep her pencils in her desk? That's right, she keeps her pencils in her desk. And if you talk about a person who's sitting in the chair next to the desk, we say at. She's sitting at her desk. Or I can say she's working. She's working at her desk. She's not working on her desk. She's not working in her desk. She's working at her desk. Let's practice. Is she sitting at her desk? That's right, she's sitting at her desk. Is she working at her desk? That's right, she's working at her desk. And what about the trash can? What's the preposition that I use for the trash can? By. There's a trash can by her desk. Or I can say next to. There's a trash can next to her desk. Let's practice. Is there a trash can by her desk? That's right, there's a trash can by her desk. So remember, when you talk about a desk, you can use different prepositions. In the desk, on the desk, at the desk, and by the desk. Thank you for watching, and keep watching for more. This is also not correct.
But if you want to remember these words for the long term...
If you want to remember this words, let's hear that again.
But if you want to remember these words for the long term...
We cannot say this words. We have to say these words. We have to use the long E like green beans. I cannot use the short I like this is. I need the long E like green beans. These. Plus the Z sound like in zebra and zipper. These words. Not this words, but these words. The pronunciation is important. So today we practice with these words. Let's practice. Did we practice with these words today? That's right, we practice with these words. Not this words, but these words. And we see that these words are confusing because the preposition changes the meaning of the word. So keep watching for more confusing prepositions and to clear up confusion. Hello, and welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. Today we're going to learn to avoid some important mistakes and learn how to sound more natural when speaking. So let's get started. First, don't say this. Never say this. Never say go out from my house. This is never correct. What about go out of my house or go out of the house? This is correct sometimes, but we have a better alternative. We have something that sounds a lot more natural. Use the verb leave. Leave the house or leave my house. Never say go out from my house, and avoid using go out of my house because it's not as common as the verb leave. Leave, in the past, left. Example, she leaves the house in the morning. She goes out of the house in the morning? That doesn't sound right. She leaves the house in the morning. She leaves the house in the morning and she goes to work. Let's practice. Does she leave the house in the morning? That's right, she leaves the house in the morning. Does she leave the house in the morning and go to work? That's right, she leaves the house in the morning and she goes to work. In this situation, don't say go out of the house and never say go out from the house. That's never correct. So leave in the present, in the past, left. Example, she left her house this morning and she went to work. Let's practice. Did she leave her house this morning and go to work? That's right, she left her house this morning and she went to work. So you can say, leave the house or leave my house, leave her house, leave your house. It's easier to use the, leave the house. This is always correct. What about this? Can I say get out of the house or get out of my house? Yes, you can, but only when there's emotion. Example, you're bored. You've been at home for a long time, many days. You say, I'm tired of being at home. I want to get out of the house. Pronunciation, I want to get out of the house. Not get out of, but get out of. We hear the T in get and the T in out pronounced as fast D's. Get out of the house. And you don't have to pronounce the V sound in of because it's before a consonant. Get out of the house. I'm bored. I want to get out of the house. There's emotion. That's when we use this. Or if you're angry, you can say, get out of my house. Again, emotion. Let's hear some examples.
Get out of my house!
Hey, I need to get out of the house.
What? Get out of my house! Get out of my house! Go! Get out of my house!
Yes. anything to get out of the house right now.
You gotta get out of the house, Faye.
On the hatch. Get out of the house.
Example, he's bored. He's been at home all day. He wants to get out of the house. Let's practice. He's bored. Does he want to get out of the house? That's right, he wants to get out of the house. She's angry, and she told the person, get out of my house. That's what she said. Let's practice. What did she say? Did she say, get out of my house? That's right, she said, get out of my house. Or if I explain, I can say, she told him to get out of her house. Pronunciation. Again, she told him to get out of her house. Now we need the V sound in of because we don't pronounce the H in her. We link the sounds. Get out of her. Now it's a vowel. Out of her. Not out of her, the H is silent. Because there's no consonant, we need the V sound. Of her, of her. She told him to get out of her house. Let's practice. What did she tell him? Did she tell him to get out of her house? That's right, she told him to get out of her house. So remember, never say go out from your house. Sometimes people say go out of your house, but it's always better to say leave. This is the best option. Leave in the present and left in the past. And only use get out of the house when there's emotion. You're bored, you're angry, something like that. Thank you for watching, and keep watching to practice with more confusing vocabulary and prepositions. Hello, welcome to English for Everyone. Today we're going to practice with two important words, allergy and allergic. Let's get started. The first word is allergy. The first thing that's important is the ALL. This word breaks the rule. The rule is ALL makes the sound all, like ball and call. But here it makes the A sound, the short A like in apple and black. Allergy. It's 3 syllables. Allergy. The stress is on the first syllable. Allergy. Allergy is countable. I can have 1 allergy or 2 allergies. If you have 1, you say an allergy. I have an allergy. I don't have an allergy. He has an allergy. He has an allergy to peanuts. When he eats peanuts, his face swells up. His face is swollen. He has an allergy. And the preposition is to. He has an allergy to peanuts. Pronunciation, to. He has an allergy to peanuts. He has an allergy to peanuts. When he eats peanuts, his face swells up. So allergy is a noun. It's a countable noun. An allergy. And the connector is to. Pronounced to. He has an allergy to peanuts. Our next word is allergic. Allergic is 3 syllables. Allergic. The stress is on the second syllable. Allergic. Allergic. Here the ALL is not pronounced all, but pronounced like in cup and up, because it's not stressed. Allergic. Allergic is an adjective. It describes a person. I am allergic. He is allergic. I am not allergic, but he is allergic. We use the same connector to, pronounced t. He's allergic to peanuts. Example, he's allergic to peanuts. If he eats peanuts, his face swells up. His face is swollen because he ate peanuts. You can also use allergic as an adjective describing reaction. Reaction is countable. You can have one reaction and two reactions. So, he has, or in the past, one time, he had an allergic reaction. He had an allergic reaction. Same preposition, to. He had an allergic reaction to peanuts. He had an allergic reaction to peanuts. Remember, to is pronounced t because it's not stressed in the sentence. He's allergic to peanuts. He had an allergic reaction to peanuts yesterday. Let's practice with allergy. If you go to the doctor or the hospital, they will always ask you this question. Do you have any allergies? They ask the question with plural, allergies. Any allergies? Because they don't know. Maybe one or maybe more than one. Do you have any allergies? I say no. I don't have any allergies. Let's practice. Do you have any allergies? Very good. I don't have any allergies. Let's practice. Does he have an allergy to peanuts? That's right. He has an allergy to peanuts. Let's practice with allergic. I am not allergic to peanuts. Are you allergic to peanuts? That's right. I'm not allergic to peanuts. Is he allergic to peanuts? That's right. He's allergic to peanuts. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, subscribe to our channel. Or if you want to become a member, click the join button. And we'll see you next time.